Analysis and genre analysis. Analysis means to examine something closely, often by breaking it down into its constituent parts and examining how these parts work and interact to come to a better understanding of what we are looking at. We use analysis regularly in our daily lives. For example, when we get dressed in the morning, we consider what the weather will be like, who we are going to be with, where we may be going, what activities we may be doing, how comfortable we would like to be, etc. And from this information, we may determine whether it is best to wear a business suit or a t-shirt and shorts. Doctors will check your vital signs, ask about symptoms, look in your nose and ears, examine the results of x rays and blood tests, and use all the specific information they learn to make a diagnosis. Analysis typically begins with a question that prompts you to take a closer look, whether that's what should I wear today, or what's wrong with my patient, and what is the best treatment. In our case, we have been asking questions like, what is a narrative? How are narratives structured? How do narratives communicate ideas? What makes narratives engaging or powerful? And what do we learn from narratives or stories? Indeed, the kind of analysis we are doing in this unit is genre analysis. This is different from literary analysis, with which you are more familiar, where you examine one or more works to better understand what they do or express. Our focus instead is to better understand the genre of the narrative, with the goal of defining or explaining what narratives are in general, how they work, what makes them unique or powerful, and why we often choose narratives or storytelling as a mode of communication. Thus, as we look closely at different narratives in this unit, the goal is not merely to understand and analyze each specific narrative or story itself. Rather, what does each of these help show or illustrate about narratives and how they work? What does each show about narratives and how they use different elements or features to express ideas, engage or connect with readers, or what makes them unique or different from other kinds of writing? Which leads to another important stage of analysis. What insights or conclusions are gained from taking a closer look? Thus, what have you learned about narratives in general from the specific narratives that we have read? How may you better understand or define narratives as a genre? How has your investigation of specific narratives helped you answer the kinds of questions we had about narratives? And what else may you need to do to get such answers or insights?